Hi, it's Stephen here from Sign of a Nation Wave, and this is day 8 of the March daily draw. So as we start the weekend, let's see what message we get. And I'll be taking the first card from the Ostara Tarot, followed by an oracle card from the Scenes of the Witch Ostara Oracle. So let's use our first card and get the reading underway. We have the Empress. So I think we've already had this month, but it's again back to our creative energy. We're thinking about this creative energy again. What do we want to create in our lives? What is it we want to bring about? What is it do we want? And how are we going to start being creative? What creative venture are we thinking about launching ourselves into? And when are we going to do it? What plans are we making? And when are we going to put those plans into action? It's one thing having the idea and the concept, but then the actual creating has to begin at some point. At least, the first signs of creating need to be coming, and we need to be sowing the first seeds of creation. We may not be doing a great big splurge of creativity, but just starting somewhere. And also, as I've said before, exploring our creative side by just having fun with the creative energy within us, just to create something, whatever it is that we like to create or would like to have a go at creating. Just have some fun with it to get that energy flowing to start with. Once we've got clearer plans and ideas about what we actually want to create in our lives, we can direct that creative energy at some point further down the line to those goals. But to connect with the creative energy in the first place, before we can begin to, be able to direct it towards our goals, we first need to connect with that energy, that creative energy. And the best way to do that is by doing something creative that's fun, that's almost that we're playing at it like a child, and maybe try different kinds of creative endeavors, just to see which ones we take to the most. If we're not sure, or what do I prefer to draw? Am I good at drawing, or could I get better at drawing? Could I develop this as a skill? Do I enjoy it? Or if that's not the case, do I enjoy writing? Do I enjoy making something physical, something practical, like making stuff with my hands, like a piece of furniture, or maybe or something out of wood or something like that? Or do I like to create other forms of craft work? Or is there something else that I can create, bringing to be, and have some kind of pastime or something, some activity that's creative that I enjoy and have fun with, and then can later perhaps it helps. It doesn't even mean if we have to use that particular activity to work towards the things we want to bring into our lives. We can do perhaps. But it's just that once we start with that activity, we tap into our creative energy. And although later down the line, our goals in that may involve something completely different to that activity, the energy that we're using is still that creative energy. Then we can direct it to that, because we have connected with that energy, and we've become used to letting it flow through us. It becomes easier to channel that creative energy then to something else that we want to be creative within. So connecting with our creative side is so important. And sometimes we put it off. I know I do. And the temptation is because when we want to be creative, we want to pick something that we're going to be really good at. And that's okay. We can perhaps be really good at something and or become, through practice, pretty good at something. But we don't necessarily have to be to start with. Don't worry too much. Just enjoy the activity of doing something creative. Don't worry about the end result. And that's why also exploring different kinds of activities is beneficial, because then we begin to know where our strengths and weaknesses are, what we enjoy, what we don't enjoy. The idea is just to connect with that creative energy and learn about our creative side. And that's what the Empress is encouraging us to do. So maybe over this weekend, think about how you can get yourself involved in some creative activity and actually start doing it. Have a go, and enjoy yourself is what the Empress would say. And of course, as always, with the Empress, I always say that going into where there's natural life, like into the woods, walking in the park, or near where there's actual earthy creativity and growth, that helps you connect with the vitality and life of the earth and the creative energy of the earth, which is starting to come to the forefront at this time of year. So that too can help you. Okay, so let's see which oracle card we get to go with that. Terrarium. That's it's like a little garden within in a sort of a jar. It's like a glass container, and it's like in miniature. So it's like a contained miniature garden. So to me, that says, before I read the thing, I will read the phrase at the bottom, but immediately what I get from this is that you can start small. It's not like you're going to go and create a big, beautiful garden outside your house. You may eventually do that, but start small. Learn about being creative at a scale that you can manage and that's easy for you to work with until you get to learn about it. So it is those foundations weaved with mindfulness that will long sustain you. We were talking about foundations when we had the Four of Wands, and it is those foundations weaved with mindfulness. So enjoy and be in the moment of your creative energy, and it may be small. The beginnings may be small, but they're laying the creative foundations for later. And it's those that will long sustain you afterwards. So start small if you have to. Start with something simpler, something simple, not necessarily the thing that you ultimately want to be involved in. Start small. That involves still some of the aspects of what you want to do, and get used to that. Get used to the foundational principles and techniques of your creative activity, and then build upon that. The important thing at the end is just be creative, get creating. And that is today's message. Okay, so that is today's message. I'll be back tomorrow with day 9. Until then, thank you for listening. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.